Forces, TLC. She invited these two boys to come in the same week that they had this incident happen so they could share their story and be heard. And then other youth were able to join with them, and they started planning what could we say in response to this, right? And so this is how this event came about. And so I'd like to honor and recognize these other three youth who've been instrumental. You want to come up here just for a moment? I know not everybody will be able to be with us at the Stonehouse, so I wanted to invite, we got Isaiah and D'Angelo and Sierra. Brought this together, and thank you all for responding and hearing the call, because we all live here and we understand that we want it to be better in some ways, right? So doing these actions and making this, this noise and this call for love and safety, it's really bringing us together, and it's from our hearts, and I just want to thank you for responding in that way. I would like to dedicate this ride to any child ever, but any child in our county who's experienced racism, who's experienced harassment, even in little small ways, things that just didn't feel good, things that were overtly just awful and not okay, and I just want to hold a space in our hearts for a moment just to recognize that for people of color in our community, this happens quite frequently, and it is something that we need to gather around and make great changes for. So sending love to all the children, and on our way forward as we're going to rise up and grow through this experience together. Thank you so much.
I'm Xylem, and I will be asking Isaiah and Nature to share with you. So this all came about because of an unfortunate event that happened to you while you were riding your bikes. Someone harassed you in the street. How did it feel that day when you were riding your bikes or walking your bikes up the hill? How did you feel?
Not very good. It was really bad, and I think that it shouldn't be in our town. And Isaiah?
Well, basically, I don't know. I felt like I wasn't at the time, I was just kind of surprised. I wasn't really feeling any way. And then it kind of hit me after, like a couple hours later, and when I actually thought about it and didn't feel too good.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for speaking to some bystanders and then speaking to your moms and sharing that on Facebook, and then coming to the Teen Leadership Workshop and sharing. How did it feel to have the idea to ride bikes? What were you anticipating? What were you hoping for today?
I was hoping for just just some people to show up just to show. And then it turned out like this with all these people.
A lot of people. A lot of people.
Boys, how do you feel today right now?
Amazing.
So spectacular. It was so cool.
Were you expecting this many folks?
No, definitely not.
No, not at all. That was maybe 50 people. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm expecting we had hundreds turn out in the street today and on those bikes. Thank you so much, everybody. I want to say, as a white person in this town, as I've been sharing this story, there's been a lot of fellow white folks that have been surprised to hear that people were harassed last year, they're harassed this year. A lot of people are surprised. I wasn't surprised because I've been listening and hearing these stories from a lot of people with dark skin in our town, that there's a lot of harassment actually. So our role as white folks in this moment is to listen. So I'm going to pass the mic to several people of color to share their experiences with you all, so we can listen and carry that forward and see how we can create a different world together today.
So, this is kind of incredible. Every time I kind of give up on humanity, something always surprises me to bring me right back again. I've only been up here for a short time. I was actually just passing through, to be honest with you. I was on my way to Portland, Oregon to work at a youth authority. I've been a youth advocate for over 20 plus years. I'm a bi-coastal dude. I'm from New York, moved to LA, lived in LA through the height of gang violence. When you talk about community, the part of LA I lived in was predominantly Latino and Black. There was a higher upper class of Caucasians. And the thing about the community was, there was like this blend. And we call it, it's Altadena, we call it Dena Love, right? So it was a small community. So when the incident with Rodney King happened, who's from my neighborhood, I know Rodney King, used to see him at the store all the time. So when we saw that, that was a shock to our community. And we stood up and we marched and we participated throughout the court process and was very much a part of that. And you think that you move a particular way forward, but I always said that California, they try to make it seem like it's this melting pot, but it was really more like water and oil. Our community was very divided. I didn't really know what I was gonna do working with youth. It just kinda, I guess everybody has their calling. I worked in the entertainment business, but I didn't like it because it was ugly. I see it destroy people. So I was always afraid of that level of success. And I was blessed enough to have some friends where we all really supported each other and kept each other grounded. I also lost a lot of friends. Gang violence, bystanders. I never had anything good to say about police. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I just never did. It was never my experience, whether I was in New York or LA. But I have to say, today, the Nevada City Police Department definitely impressed me. They impressed me over the winter when Jamal Walker had the Love Walk. And that just really kind of renewed a lot of things for me. So when I got the call about this incident that occurred on my block, really, in my part of the neighborhood, I was like, hold up, nah, yeah, I'm coming, without a doubt. So I came and spoke to the youth and to hear their experiences, whether it be the young boys of color, the young girls that's in the community, when they hear the stories of people following them and certain levels of harassment, I'm like, that's wild, this is a small community. But at the same time, what I saw was, despite those individuals that want to wave their Confederate flags, I'm all for it. Yo, do your thing. Big up. Like, I'm not mad at you at all. I know who you are. I see you. That's cool. We all are not going to be on that same level. It was just really surprising to me. So I had no choice. I was compelled. I had to get down with this. And so here I am. And just today, just seeing all the people of color of various ethnic backgrounds. I just met Raul and his son. Dude is like, how old are you? 5, 7? 5? 6 years old, making beats on GarageBand. I just heard his track. I'm gonna play it tonight, without a doubt. Yeah. So it's just really amazing, and this is just the beginning. I've heard a lot of single moms talk about their experiences with their sons and daughters in the school community. So the school districts need an education. I'm here for that. I'm willing to help, and whoever else willing to stand up. I don't care what complexion you are. I tell people all the time, some might be surprised, but when MLK was marching, you had Dennis Hopper, who marched with him. Charlton Heston, as wild as he is, he was there, So it's not so much about your complexion, it's about what's in your heart and your intent, your willingness to stand up. So here's these young men who decided to stand up against that, no matter what the adversity might have been able to face them. And I said, no doubt, I'm gonna be there and support that. And that's what we all have to do. And I think everybody here today, commend yourselves for being a part of this and standing up with them and supporting them and show them that they do have love here. Because the community is changing, the world is changing, internet, everything is making things smaller, right? So we really got to really work together. And everybody being here today, in my years being here, shows that community works. You know what I'm saying? So we just need to keep promoting that.
Thank you, Jai.
15-ish years ago, me and my dad, Michael Ben, were at a stop sign at 49 and like Coyote or one of those streets there, and this truck drove by, yelled jigaboo at us, and threw a can out his window. And me and Dad looked at each other and laughed, because out of all the things we could have been called that day, jigaboo seemed the most gentlest of the insults. And reflecting back on this, when it happened to Lil Zay and Nature, when I told people this story, nobody believed me. Not here, right? This place is so new agey and full of love, and nobody understood or believed me. And I've watched this community go through many changes the past decade and a half, and to hear that it is not only still happening, but happening to children just got me all like sweaty and riled up. And so I have to call Dad when I get sweaty and riled up, because there's not a lot of people that you can talk to when things like this happen. So Xylem already having her teen support group in place to create a container for things to happen is a huge deal. There is already something established for these children to express what happened. Not only express what happened, but stand up for something. In my experience, when I would stand up, I'd get knocked down again. So I just stayed down. My dad taught me to accept it, that you are beautiful and wonderful and loved, but just to accept it. And to see all of your faces here today, started with an idea by these two boys, it's not accepting it. This is not, you guys are not accepting it. This is amazing. So to watch a transformation of just taking it to making something of it is a big deal. So your little activity, your little idea, your little bike ride here today, kids, is not only healing me, but it's healing this old fart too. Because we have never had a chance to do something like this. We weren't in a position to do, we didn't have Xylems to do stuff like this. We didn't have you guys to do stuff like this. So what you've created, and that I think we're gonna do every year after this, is a reminder that when I look out, you stand, these people stand with us. When you get an ugly, nasty, crap comment from some random stranger, reflect on these faces. You have all these faces against that one idiot that said something. And that is a huge deal. All these people have your back. I have your back. Daddy-O has your back. So thank you guys for not internalizing this and letting it eat you alive and turn you into a crazy person like me. But doing something and taking the chance. Because like you said, 50 people, 12 people. If nobody showed up, you'd be devastated, right? Like, oh God. But look at this. Look at this. So I am angry and irritated that this happened to you, but I am so incredibly amazed at the medicine you two created for this community by putting this together. So I love you so hard.
Thank you, Jeff. That's a pretty hard act to follow, so I'll do my best. I saw the people of color here today, and I began to wonder where my wallet is. Did I lock the doors? My car's locked. Somebody gonna rob something from me? Am I gonna get beat up? Am I safe? It's the kind of dialogue that racism creates in the mind. It creates a state in my head, and I've been working with racism my entire life because I encountered it pretty young. My parents encountered it pretty young, and so these little tapes play. Even when I'm even when I'm not around people of color, I have another tape that plays in my safe. When are they going to turn on me? So I spent years living in some kind of tumultuous state that's taken me a long time to kind of pull the pieces together and actually tell myself that I'm not disconnected from anything. And I think that's the essence of what racism is. It's a separation, it's an isolation of thinking that we're not connected to this. And when we look around, we see we are connected to this. We're connected to each other. We look at your hands function as a certain way. They might have a different color on them, but right now the young people got real smooth skin, but when they get a little older, it's gonna get a little wrinkled. When they get way older, it's gonna be way wrinkled. So we all have this little short, brief, like this gentleman over here, he's very wrinkled. He will testify to that. I guess my point is that life is really short in one hand, but it's really long. And my generation is given their time to make the world the best that it can be. And today, I was just really encouraged because this next generation has got it handled.
Oh, yeah.
And they got it handled because they've done something like this. And if there's something that we can get as a takeaway from this gathering this day, today is to remember what we did together. We came together, and when we get older, your kids are going to find people go off and get married, they get off and they go to school, they get off and get a great job, they get off and go live under a bridge, they get off and do a million different things and go different directions. But I want you to remember today that you came together. You were together. You were together on your bicycles. You were together with your parents. You were together with all these different colors of skin and all these nationalities and genders. And I hope one day we won't ever have to use the word race. It won't be in our vocabulary. It will not exist at all because we're just people. We're just human beings. We all have hearts. We all have eyes and ears and smiles. We all have love. It's a common thing that runs in every culture all over the planet. So I don't really know how to finish this, but I thought maybe a good chant we could say when we're riding on our bikes. You know, I've been called names before. I just kind of learned how to like blow it off, because if I let that stuff stop me, I'm not going to get very far in life. I have to be able to let some stuff roll off and have a sense of humor. So I thought maybe it'd be fun to just chant with me. We could say, instead of saying ridiculous, we could say ridiculous. We could say racism is ridiculous. Can y'all say that with me? Racism is ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
One more time. Racism is ridiculous. That's it. So thanks for having me here, and go love each other.
When you get called certain words, it triggers a deep, panicky fear. So is that still kind of lingering?
Just a little bit, but not as much. But like, I still kind of feel like that could happen any day again. So
Yeah, well, look at, where'd he go? I'm just pointing to like the tallest dude next to me. But like Dad said, even when he is not around, when he's around, you know, white people, there's still that thing of, are they going to turn on me? So it's so interesting that this name calling really does write the tape in our head. And I guess my prayer for you two is to kind of do what Dad said, laugh it off, roll it off, but little pieces, little syllables still make it onto that tape. So I don't know, do I just like hug you till you pop, or how do I get that last little ounce of out of you? Chocolate? Some kisses? All right, so next year I was thinking maybe something a little bit more, less cardio, more air conditioned. Can we gather under with love and not exercise? What's going on? All right. Well, thank you everybody so much. Thank you, Jai, Tina, Xylem, Youngins.
I want to invite one other young person up today who's been helping. Can I get Cielo on the microphone? Cielo, why did you come out with your friends, Isaiah, D'Angelo? You came to a few meetings to help out. What inspired you to come out?
Personal issues like this. At school, actually, I was called a stupid short Mexican and go make $1 and work for an hour, you know. And I just feel like, does that really make you feel good, like, to call people that? And, like, it doesn't lift you up. Definitely not. Like, if anything, you're just going to think about it later and just, like, hopefully, you feel bad because you're just putting people down, not lifting them up.
So, what did it mean for you today to be part of it? How do you feel right now?
I feel really good, actually. I really hope this, like, puts something, like, I just hope that this whole town gets a view of this, like, this is still here. It's not, don't cover it up because it's still here.
That's right.
You need to deal with it.
Thank you, Cielo.
So, this is something that I wrote with support of our racial justice group, and on June 27th, the City Council are going to review this, and we're hoping to get it as a proclamation, a value statement of Nevada City. And this is what I wrote. Here in Nevada City, we want to be known not just for the beauty of our historic homes and quaint shops fanning out from the town center with our gold rush history. We wish to also honor the history of the Nisenan as the original peoples of our land. Besides our history, We also want to be known for our values and commitment to the city growing strong in its inclusivity for all of our residents in all of our growing diversity. We wish it to be known that our city declares itself to be a hate-free zone. We are a community that embraces a diversity in which we treat one another with human dignity and respect. This is a core value of our city. In recent times, there has been an increase in hateful and dangerous speech and acts nationwide. There have been instances of this toward some of our city residents and even toward our own neighbors' children. We do not believe that any person or child should live with the fear and apprehension that comes from the exposure to those kinds of events. There is no place for intolerance in our community. We wish to affirm our responsibility to ensure that each person living within the jurisdiction of Nevada City is accorded equal protection under the law, including the rights enshrined in the Constitution of the United States and the California State Constitution. We proclaim that we remain committed to diversity and to fostering an atmosphere of inclusiveness that respects the dignity and worth of every person without regard to race, color, sex, religion, ancestry, national origin, immigration status, marital status, age, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity and expression, and we declare that we denounce hate speech, hate crimes, harassment, racial bias, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, anti-immigrant activity, and harmful bias and discrimination in all forms.
Thank you, Margot. What a great proclamation, eh?
I want to say greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
And greetings to the powerful energy that dwell here in Nevada County. I moved here almost 30 years ago, and name it, I have experienced every name calling, every finger pointing that you can think of. But there's something gave me strength and hope in this community. I met some monk some years ago, and he said to me that of all the places he have been to in the world, apart from Tibet, Nevada County has the strongest spiritual energy he has ever felt. And I say amen to that. And I have traveled many other places, and when I told people I live in Nevada City, they say, wow, yeah. And I'm like, you know, it's not diversity, but the spiritual energy of this county makes up for the lack of diversity. There is so much conscious-minded people here, and I'm so proud to be a citizen and a resident of this small, beautiful oasis. And to these two young men, don't be afraid, man. You know, you are strong, you are beautiful, you are wonderful. Let no one define you. Let no one tell you who you are. The key is when you look in the mirror, the person who you see, fall in love with that person. You know, just keep on falling in love with that person. You know, because you kids like you are the hope of the future. Nevada County has a lot of history, and we forget the power and the strength of the indigenous people. And their spirit do dwell here. That's the hope of this community. If we learn to embrace the energy and the spirit of the native people and realize that we are that they welcome us. When I go to the river and I hike up the river, I can feel the spirit of the native people here. You know? And that's the glue that holds Nevada County together. We are the most beautiful melting pot around here, and we need to cherish that. You know, racism will never live. I'm so proud of what happened to bring people out, because we pretend as if it don't exist.
Right.
You know, we pretend. And what's going on around this country right now, I am one of the few people who are very happy it's happening, because so much has been buried as if it doesn't exist. But these things has to come out. And nothing is that should not have been. In Jamaica we say, what they go on, have to go on. But from it, what should we learn, or what will we learn? You know, don't walk away angry and bitter. Learn something. You know, we spend so much time being so angry, so bitter, so hateful, and we're not learning absolutely nothing. So I'm asking, just pay attention and see what we can walk away from and to be a better person. Because we're all one. Black, white, pink, blue, yellow, green, it doesn't matter. We're all one. And love you, Nevada County, for standing up, Nevada City, for standing up, for speaking up, for showing these youth that they have a place here. You know? They need to know that. You know? Thing doesn't bother me anymore. It's my wife over there, she's a white lady. And we've been walking the street and I get the finger. I don't even tell her to upset her. You know? Because it falls off my back. You know? I am strong. I can handle it. You know? Words can't break my bone. But these kids are young. So they need the support. They need the strength. They need the love. And they're going to be the future changers of not only this community but the world. So thank you guys. Be not afraid. Love yourself. And thank you, Nevada County.
Hey, where's my mama? Jump. Oh, there you are. Yay! Thank you so much. In the fedora over there.
In the fedora.
That's my fedora, by the way. Thank you so much, Mom. You're the best mom ever.
Hi friends, here with Staci on the streets in Nevada City. I am with my new friend, Mr. Jai.
What's happening?
We are at an event today and it's youth who are riding bikes against racism, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And Jai, you not only DJ'd some awesome music for this event, but what brought you out today?
Again, supporting the youth. The two young men that was involved, I was asked to come speak at a mentoring group that Xylem, a local here, does. She does a great job at it. And so when she informed me of the incident, without hesitation, absolutely, I'm going to come and speak to the youth. So I got involved in helping her out as a mentor, and that's pretty much what brings me out, just support the youth.
One of the things that really touched me that you shared, Jai, was you said, you know, you've experienced a lot of racism and a lot of hatred projected toward you in your life because of the beautiful color of your skin, I might add. And you said that sometimes, you know, just when you feel like giving up, even though I get the sense from hearing you speak, you have a great heart that believes in the goodness of people, but, you know, sometimes when we're the target of human hatred, that is heavy on the heart and soul.
You know, again, the humanity thing, it's like I question, like, giving up on it, forget about it, you know, whatever, tune out of it. But, you know, I guess it's just this in-earth thing, you know. My mother raised me never to be a quitter. She was a single mom, you know, and so it's like I always kind of liken it to Muhammad Ali. Even when he was losing a fight, he frustrated other fighters because he wouldn't fall to the ground. His legs were so strong, his determination, like, you might be beating me, but I'm not going to let you beat me to the ground. I'm not going to fall to the ground. You're not going to knock me out. And as I know I'm being beaten, I'm still going to dance around you. I'm still going to tease you and frustrate you even more. So that's the thing that feels like that just keeps me up. Like, no matter the adversity, no matter what the words are, I just keep fighting and punching. I just keep punching. I just keep fighting. And every time I want to give up, it's that thing that's in me, that inner voice that says, don't give up. And then I see beautiful things like this, the turnouts. I hear stories that really capture my attention, that keep me pushing. Then I hear stories that make me say, damn, here we go again. And it's like the voice, you have to keep speaking. Those before me, from Martin Luther King to the little, all the way back to Jordan the Truth, everybody who has fought in something and who has been killed over that, that's that thing that keeps me going. That's like my ancestral lineage that keeps me going. You know, I mean, I'm a mixture of all kinds of things. I'm Irish. Red hair comes from. You know, there's Puerto Rican, you know, in my family. A little bit of Native American, Seneca Nation, Turtle Clan. I mean, so I am that. We are the people. So it's like, I feel like I am the people. You know, so why should I discriminate against another person because of their complexion or what have you? And to see the youth bothered like that, And the fear in their heart in such a small community, it's going to push me to stand up, you know, because I've dealt with it at their age, and it's a very uncomfortable thing. And to know that there's people that you can go to and that you can support and have your back, it makes you feel better, it makes you feel comfortable. And because it is a small community, everybody here I've either seen once or twice, or I will definitely bump into again. You know what I mean? So it makes the community that much smaller. And those individuals that have that left type of thinking, well, that population I feel is very small. So I just keep going for it and I keep striving.
And for youth of color, what do you think is the most important message to impart?
I think with the youth of color, everything is based on education. We have to come to terms and grip that there's a different rule of listing when kids of color grow out versus, you know, Caucasian kids grow out. Their parents give them two different types of lists. You know, black kids go out, we watch for a list and that. Be mindful of the police, like literally, you know, don't do this, don't do that. You know, if the white kids' parents don't go out, hey, go out and have fun, be back by such and such time. If you're going to, you know, so it's all that. So our list is different, and that's the reality. We have to protect ourselves. You know, whether it's our young boys or our young girls, it's the same thing. There's a list. In this community, these young girls have a list. Be mindful of this person following you. You know, these streets are dark out here at night. You got people, you know, following young girls, like trying to get their attention. And I'm so glad that there are people in the community that see that and stand up for it. You know, so it's just a matter of just educating yourself. Always speak and tell an adult, like the young boys today did, and get them involved. And don't be afraid to speak out on this. You know.
Jai, thank you for your beautiful heart, not only for coming to life with it, but for sharing it. Thank you for your powerful soul that is just continues to come back in strength regardless of what's being projected to you, and you know, just all the hurts that we see and feel, and especially of course people of color. So thank you, my friend.
Thank you, it was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
All right, we'll see you later. Hi friends, this is Staci on the streets with NCTV. I am with my friend Mayor Howard Levine, right?
I am your friend, and I am Mayor of Grass Valley. Yes.
Mayor of Grass Valley. Right now we are in Nevada City at the library where some young kids have organized this great community event called Youth Against Racism. Can you tell us a little background, Howard, and then I have a couple specific questions for you.
So I was at the Love Walk, I think it was September 27th. It was 2 days after my wife died, and got back to Grass Valley and heard about the Love Walk and the idea that anybody in our age has the propensity to not be inclusive and to love one another. Just drives me crazy. This is a world where we need to show love and compassion to each and every person, and the idea of any kind of racism or any kind of gender bias is just incomprehensible to me.
Mm-hmm. And can you just give a brief history of the Love Walk for people who are not local who may be watching this?
Well, Jamal Walker's son, Amani, was walking down the street in Grass Valley, and some young men in a car were yelling racist remarks at him, and nobody in the city stopped to help him or to stop the people in the car or to offer any kind of support. And that is unconscionable. And so my daughter went to high school here. We housed the African Dance Company from Berkeley back in the 90s, or late 80s, early 90s. And we saw her coming home from high school hearing those kind of racial epithets. And we have been fighting this for decade after decade after decade. And so we need to be out here and supporting these rides and this kind of shining a light on this kind of behavior.
Okay. So when a great part of the community comes together at an event like this, in your opinion, what do you think is one of the best outcomes that we can see?
We're together.
Yeah, we're together.
We're together.
Right.
And we believe that we're all equal.
Right. And I think that's why our community loves our Mayor Howard in Grass Valley in Nevada County.
This is about everybody,
Yeah.
and we need to stand up and say we won't stand for this.
Yeah. And so not only a mayor, but clearly a great humanitarian, and they're getting ready to kick off this event. So thank you so much, Mayor Howard.
It's an honor to be here.
Thank you for standing up for what's right and what's good.
Thank you.
Okay.